Good afternoon, race fans. Welcome to the Track on 2. Today will be 2 degrees for our weather, cloudy skies. Winds out of the north-northeast, 5 kilometers an hour. Post time is at 3:10. That's approximately 24 minutes from now. If you'd like to have a look at your programs, we'll run through the changes and corrections on today's card. Starting in the first race, number 5, Archaic, will be driven by Mike Hennessy. Mike Hennessy drives the 5. Number 6, Hokey Dokey. Your driver will be Paul Davies. Paul Davies drives the 6, Hokey Dokey. Turn now to the second race. Number 4, Dwayne's Horizon, will be driven by Mike Hennessy. Mike Hennessy is the driver. Move ahead to the fourth race. Number 2, Fanatical Flight, will be driven by Nathan Sobey. Nathan Sobey drives the 2, Fanatical Flight. In the fifth, Brian Gray will be driving the 6 horse, Marv the Rat. Number 6, Marv the Rat, driven by Brian Gray. In the 6th race, there were some sheets out there with driver changes, so we'll just make sure you do know the 1 horse, Sideline Secrets, is going to be driven by Nathan Sobey. Nathan Sobey will stay with the 1 horse, Sideline Secrets. The 5 horse, Jello's Fellow, has been scratched. That's a vet scratch. Jello's Fellow is out of the 6th. Number 6, Secrets Mystery, will be driven by Jamie Gray. Jamie Gray drives the 6. And the 8 horse, Dream Chase, will be driven by Paul Davies. Paul Davies drives the 8. At this time, those are your changes and corrections for today's card. That leaves us about 22 minutes till post time.
Trevor Williams. Yeah, I thought Trevor was going to be here. He actually talked to me and said he was gonna help.
We are approximately 18 minutes until post time. First race will be a non-winners of 2 races or $6,000 lifetime. They're going to race for a purse of $3,100. I believe I hear you downstairs there, Don. Have you seen any action in the paddock just yet?
Dennis, I haven't seen any yet, other than Fred Gillis running around with his bucket and selling tickets on a raffle for a trip to Las Vegas. It's in support of breast cancer. So you'll see Fred's hat running around here. Dave Kelly going out to the track with a horse. But other than that, all there is snow in the air.
Yeah, that's a trip for 2 to Las Vegas or $1,500 cash. I believe that draw will be tomorrow. Tickets are $5 each or 5 for $20. Once again, if you see Fred Gillis wandering around, you can certainly stop him and get your name in for that draw. Just before we get started with the afternoon, we have Jaden Flamin joining us. She's going to sing "O Canada." Crystal is out there with our Canadian flag.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all our sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God, keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thanks, Jaden. Horses are making their way into the paddock area for the first race. And as we have a quick look at the first, for myself, I picked out the one-horse Presidential Flight as my top choice. Second choice for myself is the four-horse Chasing the Divas. And I round out my selections with the 3, Doc JR. Don, I'll send it down to you. I know that you and Fred had a couple different choices there in the first. Why don't you run through the first race for us?
Sure thing, Dennis. Horses are still inside. I think we'll probably see them parading a little bit later than normal today because of the cooler weather. Number 1 horse, Presidential Flight. 2-year-old test flight colt. Brian Gray trains and drives, and Gary Clark owns. Brand new to the racetrack, hasn't raced yet in a live race. 2 qualifiers. Both races came home very quick in the last quarter, so kind of leaves the better to think that there's a pretty good chance that this horse might be competitive first start. So, 2 horse, I'm on the level. 2-year-old Vertical Gelding. Carl Archibald's a trainer, and Kevin Sampson driving. 1 start, not really impressive last week at Track on 2. After the first start, should be a little bit tighter, so hopefully a little bit of an improved effort. Number 3, Docs JR. 3-year-old Mystery Chase filly, Jamie Gray training and driving, and also owning. This 3-year-old filly has shown signs that she could win a race, but just had 3 seconds so far. Easier field than she's been facing for a while, so there's a good chance this horse could show up somewhere. Number 4 horse, Chasing the Divas. A 3-year-old Mystery Chase Gelding. Carl Archibald also training this one, and Nate Sobey driving. Been racing in non-winners of 2, non-winners of 3 straight, so dropping into the condition claiming class definitely will make this horse a little bit more competitive. Number 4 horse, number 5 horse, Archaic. 3-year-old Vertical Horizon Gelding, Jake Cutting training, and Mike Hennessy driving. Also raced straight non-winners of 2 the last 2 races, in with the condition claimers. Mike Hennessy up to drive. Horse might get a little bit more of an aggressive trip this race. And the 6 horse is Hokey Dokey, a 3-year-old gelding out of Riverboat King. Tara Isman, Manitoba trainer, has this horse out to race at Track on 2. Paul Davies driving. This horse has been racing straight, non-winners of 2, non-winners of 3 in Manitoba. Had some finishes where it's got a win and a couple others where it's cashing checks. 2 wins out of 8 starts, so should have this horse competitive in this field also. When we went to our selections, I definitely went to the same horse you did, Dennis, the 1 horse. Only reason I went to this horse was a horse that shown good last quarters, hasn't shown that it's had the inability to win so far, so sometimes when you see fresh faces, they can sometimes surprise you a little bit. Horses are now circling the paddock, so they should be coming out for post parade right away.
And the horses are on parade for the first race. Number 1 is Presidential Flight, owned by Gary Clark, trained by Brian Gray, and driven today by Brian Gray. Number 2 is I'm on the Level. Meadowlark Farms and Cheryl Wheat are the owners. Carl Archibald trains. Kevin Sampson will drive. Doc JR is the 3-horse, owned, trained, and driven today by Jamie Gray. Number 4, Chasin' the Divas, owned by the Meadowlark Farms, trained by Carl Archibald, and driven today by Nathan Sobey. Number 5 is Archaic, owned by Melinda Smith, trained by Jacob Cutting, and driven today by Michael Hennessy. The 6 horse is Hokey Dokey, owned by Tara Isman and Garrett Isman. Tara Isman trains and driven today by Paul Davies. That is your field for the first race. They'll go to the post in about 5 minutes.
Okay, so we've got Bob down here who's going to interview Trevor Williams, a visitor from Manitoba, involved in the Horse Association.
Hey, Trevor, thanks for being with us. Nice to see you made the trip out from Manitoba. Yeah. So you've been come out every year here for the last few years that I've got to know you. What do you think of the changes that have happened in Alberta with the horse racing now?
Well, first of all, starting with this facility, I was definitely shocked to see the upgrades and the difference they've done here on the main level. I mean, last time I was out here, I was happy to have racing in Lacombe, but they've just done an exceptional job. It's too bad it's a cold, windy day here today because it's a beautiful facility, and obviously Edmonton is a first-class facility as well, so really excited about racing out here.
Great. Yeah, we think you brought the weather up from Manitoba with you. We're going to blame it on you. Yeah. So are you planning on bringing more horses out for the winter and spending more time out here now?
I'm not bringing a stable myself. I have a few with Ryan Grundy, as well as a buddy from Manitoba, Don Howlett, has some up at Bedrock. But yeah, we'll race, I guess, as long as they have racing here.
Okay, good. And just switch it over for a minute out to Manitoba. How was it out there this year? I know you guys have been working hard to get things going out there and to improve it. Has there been improvements, and what's it look like for the future out there?
Yeah, there's definitely been lots of improvements. We had 10 good, strong weekends this summer. Next year, we're actually in the process of building a new facility in the city of Winnipeg, as well as expanding our rural towns. So lots to look forward to in the future. Yeah, we're just excited to have racing. So.
Okay, hang on one second.
We got one really important question, Trevor. Hockey season starting soon. What do you think of the future for the Leafs?
I think 2020 is our year. I think we got to name John Tavares captain and win the Stanley Cup. That's the next 2 things we got to do.
Sounds like the most important news so far today. Back up to you, Dennis.
3 minutes till post time.
Okay, so we're going to go to Trevor also and see if he's got a different opinion on this race. Trevor, after looking at this, we all know you're a world-renowned handicapper. Help the bettors here and give them a winner in their first race.
First race is actually a little bit tough. There's a couple I like in here, but if I had to narrow it down, I think the best horse in the race is Carl's, the 4-horse Chasing the Divas. Just the most experienced, 18 starts. Even last week in a much tougher company, looked like it was right in the thick of things until he runs. So I think if he behaves himself today, he should be the one to beat. Obviously, Jamie should be close too. So I hate to take the 2 favorites, but I'll have to.
I'm getting used to that. All the handicappers I'm around always pick chalk, so some of us swing for the fences a little bit more often. Still circling around out there, Dennis.
Yeah,
Race should be starting fairly soon.
We are 2 minutes away till post time. 2 minutes. Just a reminder, when you're placing your wagers today, make sure you place them carefully and early. That way you can avoid being shut out and make your wagers correctly. 2 minutes to post time. Less than a minute now till post time. Less than a minute. Horses are moving in behind the starting gate. Number 1 is Presidential Flight. Number 2, I'm on the level. Number 3 is Doc JR. 4 is Chasing the Divas. Archaic is the 5. Hokey Dokey is the 6. Making their way down the lane towards the start. It's post time. There they go. And they're off and pacing. Archaic moves quickly from the outside. Through the middle, you have Doc JR, and down along the rail, Presidential Flight. Heading into the turn. Your leader is Archaic. Archaic with the lead. Presidential Flight moves up to take second. Dropping in third along the rail is Doc JR. Fourth on the outside is Chasing the Divas. Down along the rail is I'm on the level. And looking at them all is Hokey Dokey. Making their way up to the quarter-mile marker, your leader is Archaic. Archaic on top by a length and a half, moving quickly out of 3. Here comes the 3-horse, Doc JR, up to challenge for the lead. Doc JR rolls on, takes the lead. Archaic settles back for second, 2 lengths back to Presidential Flight. Then you have Chasing the Divas and quite a gap back to I'm on the level and Hokey Dokey. Quarter-mile marker was reached in 31 seconds flat. On the way up to the half, Chasing the Divas is now out of form, making the way up on the outside. Leader still is Doc JR. Doc JR with the lead on a break is Chasing the Divas. Doc JR on top. Archaic settles in second. Presidential Flight in third. Hokey Dokey in fourth. Past the half-mile marker in 1:02. Doc JR has the lead. Archaic is pacing in second. Then you have Presidential Flight and Hokey Dokey. They'll be the 4 that'll take us down the lane. The other 2 are well back. It is Doc JR on top. Slight challenge on the outside coming from Archaic. Archaic is going to try and make this one close. Archaic gets on past. It is Archaic with the win. Jamie Gray settles for second with Doc JR, and Hokey Dokey is up for third. Time for the mile, 2:01 and 1/5. Results are unofficial. Hold all tickets. Unofficially, your winner, number 5, Archaic. Finishing second, number 3, Doc JR. Up for third, Hokey Dokey. And finishing fourth, number 1, Presidential Flight. Back to the winner's enclosure. Our official winner of the first race, number 5, Archaic. Archaic is owned by Melinda Smith, trained by Jacob Cutting, and driven to victory today by Michael Hennessy. Archaic is a 3-year-old bay gelding by Vertical Horizon out of Hoser Pam, by Hi-Ho Silver Heels. Archaic paced the mile in a time of 2:01 and 1/5. That is Michael Hennessy's 15th win here at the Track On 2 this season. That puts him into a slight lead in the driver's standings. Prices for the first race, number 5, Archaic, $9.40, $3.20, $2.40. 3, Doc JR was second, $3.10, $2.30. Hokey Dokey, the 6-horse, was up for third, $3.30 to show. Finishing fourth, number 1, Presidential Flight. $2 exacta combination, 5 and 3, $23.20. Your dollar triactor, 5, 3 and 6, $72.15. Those are your prices for the first race. A replay of the first coming up next. As you're getting yourself ready for the second race on the program, horses will be making their way into the paddock area in a few minutes. It will be a filly mares event. Non-winners of 7 races are $49,000 lifetime. They'll race for a purse of $5,000. We're just going to direct your attention to the TVs in your location wherever you're at. We're going to do the trackside handicapping show at this time.
So I'm going to use a little bit of the expertise we've got down here. I'm going to let 2 Manitoba boys go at handicapping the second race. Ryan's probably driven half of these horses. Trevor's probably owned half of these horses.
Don?
So we'll let the 2 of them go through here and see what they come up with for a winner. I know Fred picked the winner in the first race, so 7-2, not a bad start. Let's see what you guys can come up with.
Thanks, Don. And let's just be clear, Ryan is a Habs fan, so we can't take his choices. So I guess we'll go horse by horse here. I'll start with the 1 horse, Outlaw Burnt Popcorn. Obviously her form is decent. She's in the money up until last race, all through the card. Strong last quarters, 27 seconds. She looks to be competitive anyway.
Yeah, she definitely does. And throughout her last start, she fits this bunch very well. I agree with you. The 2 horse Cutting to the Chase is coming in off a win last week. If she matches that performance, she's very close to getting a win in here as well.
Yeah, I liked her race a lot last week. I think if she's, close to the lead, she should be tough to beat. And from the 2-hole in a 6-horse field, I think she will be close to the lead. So she's obviously one you can't leave out. Probably going to be our favorite, the 3 Take on the Boys. Not right now. She's obviously a hard-knocking mare. 8 wins this year and 26 starts. Probably one of the better mares in here.
Again, I agree with you, Trevor. I think this mare will be the speed in this race, and it's going to be everyone else's job to try and hunt her down and beat her. The 4, Dwayne's Horizon. She's got, I think, her work cut out in with these mares, but she could work out a trip if they get dueling on the front end and might be able to pick up the pieces late.
Yeah, definitely a long shot here, currently 99-1. But, yeah, in a 6-horse field on a mile track, I guess you never really know. So, Blink and Gone, it's another interesting one. I don't know if Nathan had a choice of the mares in here, and if he did, maybe that's an angle you can play and take the 11-1 on her. I like the 55 miles and always right in the thick of things too with 6 wins this year, so probably a Lamont Exactor here is a good bet too.
Yes, both of Dave's mares I think are the definite choices in here. It's tough to say. I think Take on the Boys with the inside post is going to be to the advantage, but Blink and Gone is as good as her most days as well. The 6, Triple Action, the post is going to be a tough start for her from the outside, but she's also tough. She's got 6 wins on the year. She knows how to get it done, and I wouldn't leave her off the ticket either.
Yeah, it's another one going off close to favorite. Lance has her racing really well. She's been off, I guess she raced on the 21st, so not too long. Yeah, another one you can definitely throw on the ticket. So, wide open race, I think. 6 horses. Tough field to bet. I guess overall I'm going to go with the Lamont Exactor. I'm going to take a little bit of value and hope Nathan picked the 5 and she's a better mare. So I'll go with Blink and Gone.
Okay, I'm going to go with the other half of the Le Mans entry. I'm going to go with the 3 Take on the Boys. And I would go with the 3 on top of the 5-6. And that's my choices.
Typical driver, pick and chalk. If you look at the way Fred and I looked at the race, I definitely picked Blink and Gone also for the exact same reason as Trevor. We're both punters, both owners, so we must look at it the same way. When Nathan drives mostly for Dave Lamont, probably had his choice of the two drives. Might have been nice and given Paul the front end and said, you go cut the mile and I'll come behind you. Tough to see exactly how it's going to work, but I kind of like the 5-horse also. Still not circling out here. Dennis, I think they're spending a little bit more time on the inside, staying warm, but I'll throw it back up to you.
Thank you. My selections were very similar to what you guys were all talking about. I took the 3-horse Taking on the Boys as number 1 choice. Number 2, Cutting to the Chase, was my second selection. Last week she did set the current track record for older mares. That one was lowered down to 155 flat. Right trip, she could certainly win again today. And Blink and Gone was my third selection as well. Never Can Leave Out Triple Action seems to be racing very well here at the track on 2. I believe that she has been able to put together 2 wins so far here at the track on 2. So don't want to leave her off the ticket too much either. Once again, we're about 8 minutes till post time. I see a couple of the horses making their way into the ring in the paddock area. 8 minutes. Horses are making the way onto the track for the second. Fillies and mares for the second race. Number 1 is Outlaw Burnt Popcorn, owned by Jim Marino, trained by Amy Henry, and driven today by David Kelly. Cutting to the Chase is the 2, owned by Robert Parrish and Jerry Hagenars. Robert Parrish trains and Doug Chappell will drive. Number 3 is Taken on the Boys, owned by David Lamont and Donna Wise. David Lamont trains and Paul Davies will drive. The 4-horse is Dwayne's Horizon, owned by Tammy Marshall and William Collins. William Collins trains and Michael Hennessy will drive. Number 5 is Blink and Gone. Donna Wise and David Lamont also own this one. David Lamont trains. Nathan Sobey will drive. Triple Action is the 6. Lance Ward owns and trains. Jamie Gray will drive. That's your field for the second race. There are about 6 minutes till post. Don, will head it back down to you.
Yeah, Don's just having a coffee, and he figured it's time I did something to earn my keep. So we're going to interview Trevor and Ryan Grundy here. You guys have been in business together now for how long?
Too long. It's into our teen years at least, and we're not kids anymore. So we've been together owning horses and just being partners for a long time.
So, Trevor, you train yourself out in Manitoba, and then you have Ryan out here at the controls. So, are there times that you guys butt heads over a few things?
No, not really at all, to be honest. I'd like to say so, but no, we just do our own thing. Ryan knows what he's doing out here. He's been doing it for quite a while and pretty successful. So, no, definitely no button heads.
Well, it's good to hear that you guys have getting along. I know it's been a pretty good, pretty successful for you guys together, you know, and you're definitely been killing them out in Manitoba, and you've been doing good out here. What do you find the main difference between Manitoba and out here is for you?
I guess for myself, I always think of like the racing in Manitoba, the fair circuit they have is kind of like being in the minor leagues. and you kind of gain experience and get your bearings, and you need a little better stock to race in Alberta in general. So you build up your horsepower and take a shot at it in the big leagues when you think you're ready.
So, Trevor, as being the guy that stays out in Manitoba training, I imagine you probably have a different opinion on this?
A little bit different. I'm not going to use the word minor league, but it's definitely a different place to race. It's very competitive week in and week out because we race for $1,500, $2,000. So everybody's fighting for those last few bucks, and we race on a different surface every week. So there's equipment changes, shoeing changes, and everything else you have to deal with, along with weather making the tracks tough to race on. So it's just different racing altogether.
Okay. And what do you see for the future of horse racing now, Ryan?
I guess as far as here in Alberta, I think we have a pretty good outlook with the Track on 2 making big progress in the last few seasons. We have both Century tracks up and running, and hopefully we can keep improving on what they've been doing. So I think we got a pretty good future ahead of us.
All right, guys, I'd like to thank you for being our guest today and for doing your picks. It's always a pleasure to see you. Trevor, always a pleasure when you get out to visit. So good luck today in your race, and thanks very much for coming by.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Bob. That leaves us with about 3 minutes till post time. 3 minutes. Just 1 minute left to make those wagers. 1 minute till post. Current betting favorite for the race, number 6, Triple Action, 9-5 on that one. Second choice, it's close between the 3 and the 2. 3, Taking on the Boys, is 2-1, and third choice is the 2, Cutting to the Chase at 5-2. Starting gates moved into position, called the horses for the second race. They're lining up now. The 1 horse is Outlaw Burnt Popcorn. Number 2 is Cutting to the Chase. Number 3, Taking on the Boys. Number 4, Dwayne's Horizon. 5 is Blinkin' Gone. And the 6 horse, current favorite, Triple Action. They're into the lane, gates picking up speed. It's post time for the second. There they go. And they're off and pacing. Cutting to the Chase takes the lead. Taking on the Boys, settling in second. Then you have Dwayne's Horizon, followed by Blinkin' Gone. Down on the inside, Outlaw Burnt Popcorn, and backing off is Triple Action. Heading into the turn, your leader is cutting to the chase. Taking on the boys, pacing in second. Then you have Dwayne's Horizon, followed by Outlaw Burnt Popcorn. Blink and Gone in triple action. Past the quarter-mile marker in 30 2/5. First to move, the 3-horse. Out of 2, here comes Taking on the Boys. Taking on the Boys, taking the lead. Cutting to the chase, dropping back second. Then you have Dwayne's Horizon, followed by Outlaw Burnt Popcorn, Blink and Gone, and triple action. Heading up to the half-mile marker, Taking on the Boys with the lead. Pacing in second, cutting to the chase. Then you have Dwayne's Horizon, followed by Outlaw Burnt Popcorn, Blink and Gone, and triple action. Past the half in 1 minute and 2/5. It is Taking on the Boys, cutting to the chase is second. Dwayne's Horizon is on the outside third. Then you have triple action moved up along the rail, followed by Outlaw Burnt Popcorn on the outside, and Blink and Gone currently trails. Top of the stretch, you have Taking on the Boys will lead us home past the half in 1 minute and 2/5. 3/4, 1:29 and 2. Taking on the Boys has the lead. Taking on the Boys. Challenge is coming. Taking on the Boys on the outside. Blink and Gone is challenging. It is Taking on the Boys, Blink and Gone. Taking on the Boys, Blink and Gone. It is close at the wire. Finishing third, Dwayne's Horizon. Time for the mile, 1:58 1/5. Judges will look at a photo to determine the winners. Hold all tickets. Results of the photo show number 5, Blink and Gone, was the winner. Finishing second, number 3, Taking on the Boys. Up for third, number 4, Dwayne's Horizon. Finishing fourth, number 2, Cutting to the Chase. Once again, time for the mile, 1:58 1/5. Once again, hold all tickets until the race is posted as official. Back to the winner's enclosure, our official winner of the second race, number 5, Blink and Gone, owned by Donna Wise, David Lamont. David Lamont is the trainer. Our winning driver today is Nathan Sobey. Blink and Gone is a 4-year-old bay mare by Winkinatcha out of Bridget Hanover by Western Ideal. Once again, pacing the mile in a time of 1:58 1/5. Prices for the second. Number 5, Blink and Gone, $14, $4.30, $2.30. Finishing second, number 3, Taking on the Boys, $3.60, $2.10. Number 4, Dwayne's Horizon, paid $7.50 to show. Finishing fourth, number 2, Cutting to the Chase. $2 exacta combination, 5 and 3, $21.60. Triactor, dollar triactor, 5, 3 and 4, $77.90. $2 daily double, 5 and 5, $50.50. Just like to mention to you, after the third race is complete, we will have a barn tour that will take place. We'll get you to meet up at the front entrance downstairs, and we'll get you arranged for that barn tour. Once again, that's after the third race. Right now, we'll head to our replay of the second. Having a look at our third race, it will be an event, non-winners of 2 races, or $9,500 lifetime. They'll race for a purse of $4,000. We have win, place, and show and exacta combinations available on this race for betting, as well as our pick 4. Pick 4 does have a carryover of just over $142. And having a quick look at the selections that I have for this race, 4-horse West Central Beach looks well placed in this one, so that's my number 1 selection. Mountain Mystery has not yet lost a race, so I picked that one in for second. And Horse is my 3rd selection. Just looking ahead to the pick 4, those of you who have the handicapping sheets, you'll see the numbers on there. Gone with the 4-horse as my selection in this race. 5 and 7 in the 4th. In the 5th race, I've taken all 3 of my top selections, 2, 6, and 7, and 3 and 4 in the last race. Betting that ticket will cost me $12 here today. That's my selection for the pick 4 today. Don, I'm going to send it down to you, a little more closer look at the 3rd race.
Thanks very much, Dennis. I've got trainer-driver Paul Davies with me, so we're going to go through these 5 horses. Paul's going to give me his opinion of them. So we've got the number 1 horse, Cheers for Prez, a 4-year-old Mystery Chase mare that Lloyd Ducharme's down on the lines and Kelly Ducharme's driving. Do you know much about this mare, Paul?
Actually, no, I don't know that much about her. But I'd say maybe could it be 4th in here?
Yeah, some mixed results, that's for sure, so far. The 2-horse Mountain Mystery, 2-year-old Mystery Chase filly. Quentin Schneider training and Jamie Gray driving. As Dennis said, this horse is undefeated. In probably a little bit tougher here, Paul, but a decent little start to the racing career.
Yeah, I'd say a little tough for a second lifetime start, but if she can suck along and learn something, then might get a good check.
Yeah, when you're starting with 2-year-olds, that's one thing you're always trying to learn as you're going along. 3-horse, Cut a Rug. A 2-year-old Mystery Chase colt. Quentin Schneider also training and Mike Hennessy driving. Horse just won its maiden last race, first win in 7 starts. Sometimes when they get on a roll, sometimes they can continue on a little bit, Paul.
Yeah, and I like the last quarters on this one, 27-4, 28-2. So there's a 28-1. So for a 2-year-old to come last quarters like that, looks pretty promising.
Number 4 horse, West Central Beach. A 3-year-old, Some Beach Somewhere gelding out of a Western Hanover mare that Dave Kelly trains and drives and owns with Mike Dix. Obviously a purchase from down east. Been back here, first start, pretty encouraging. Qualifier encouraging. Obviously probably stands out a little bit in here, Paul.
Yeah, for sure. I don't see this horse getting beat in here especially, and Dave Kelly's been doing pretty good with his young horses, so I'd give him the nod in here.
When you're looking at horses down east to buy, Paul, what do you look for? What's the key when you're buying horses, especially ones that haven't had a whole lot of success so far and you want to bring them out here?
Green horses maybe just aren't high-end state caliber that people want to offload before the yearling sales. Maybe get better with a little bit of age. Just a few little things like that.
And we've also got the number 5 horse in here, named horse. Trevor Williams is the owner, Ryan Grundy training and driving. This had to be one that Trevor named, wouldn't you think, Paul?
Oh, knowing Trevor, I'd say so.
So this horse has had 3 lifetime starts and 1 second, kind of in and out a little bit, but also shows a couple last good quarters, so maybe part to fill out an exactor?
Yeah, the horse it just seems a little green. Well, I've seen it race, but does show some good last quarters, so if it gets a good trip and minds its manners, it should be okay in here.
Okay, so before we do an interview on the other side, we got another minute or two here, Paul. Talk about the actual real contest in the driver standings between you, Mike, and Jamie. Is there any talking between the 3 of you going on in the backstretch?
No, I actually didn't know me and Mike were tied for the lead until he won the race today, so I guess I'm in second now.
Did he throw that in your face very quickly?
No, I don't even know if he knows.
That sounds typical of Mike. Back up to you, Dennis.
Thank you. We're about 9 minutes till post time. Looks like a few of the horses are making their way into the walking ring in the paddock area. Just a reminder, a couple things. First of all, that barn tour again right after this race. You can meet up at the front entrance. And, of course, if you see Fred Gillis wandering around, don't forget you can pick up those tickets to support breast cancer. Trip for 2 to Las Vegas is the prize. Draw will be tomorrow. $5 each, 5 for $20. Just look for Fred Gillis. He'll look after you with those tickets. Horses for the third race are making the way onto the track. Horses on parade for the third race. Number 1 is Cheers for Prez. Lloyd Ducharme owns and trains. Kelly Ducharme will drive. Mountain Mystery is the 2-horse. James Rhodes and Quentin Snyder. Kimberly Snyder are the owners. Quentin Snyder trains. Jamie Gray will drive. 3 is Cut a Rug. James Rhodes, Quentin Schneider, and Kimberly Schneider are the owners. Quentin Schneider trains. Michael Hennessy will drive. Number 4 is West Central Beach. David Kelly and Mike Dix are the owners. David Kelly will train and drive. Number 5 is Horse. Trevor Williams is the owner. Ryan Grundy trains and drives. That's your field for the third race. We're about 6 minutes till post time. Don, will send it back down to you and Paul Davies.
Pretty deadly. Thanks very much, Dennis. So it's been an interesting year, Paul. Kind of back and forth. You started the year at Fraser Downs, went to Century Downs, which are both 5/8 mile tracks, plus or minus. Then you've been up here at Track on 2 and up in Edmonton at the new Century Mile. Tell me a little bit about when you're taking your horses back and forth between different distance tracks and obviously different surfaces too.
Well, yeah, some horses are like the big track better, the dirt track. Sabine Pass, he really likes it. He's got sore feet, so the dirt track's a lot nicer for him. The younger ones, they seem to be a little lost on the long stretch, but they learn and they adapt, and you just got to try to teach them.
Yeah, you've definitely noticed some barns and some horses having a little bit of a challenge once they've gone up to the new long stretch at Century Mile. You've had a lot of success with some stakes horses this year, Paul. Obviously a really good 3-year-old in Grabbing Gears and a 2-year-old in State of Mind. Talk a little bit about your year and how it's gone for you.
It's been a really good year. Can't complain, that's for sure. And Grabbing Gears, there's a lot that can go with him now this year. He was just really dominant last year, but he still made over 100,000 this year, so happy with him. And Outlaw State of Mind, yeah, he's got a mind of his own, so we're just trying to work with that and get him settled down and tell him to listen to me.
I had a great comment, but I'm going to cut it for a sec here because it could only get me in more trouble. So you were also fairly aggressive at the yearling sale, came away with at least a couple out of there. When you went to the sale, what did you think of the Alberta sale? And obviously going out to the BC sale next week, already talking about a couple of them. You planning on being as aggressive out there?
I have a feeling that their prices might be a little higher out there, but I'm going to go and see if I can get one or two. And this sale, yeah, I didn't even have them marked in the book, but when I got to the sale, I liked them, and we got them.
And so your process so far when you're training them down, you've probably started working with some of the equipment. Have you got any of them in the cart yet, or are you still doing line driving and other things with them?
Oh, they were in the cart within 2 days, and they've already had the hobbles on and are gated, and they're pacing free-legged today, so.
Always a good start when they start going along that way. So, again, you've been spent a little bit of time down here in Track on 2 and obviously making the new move out to Alberta full-time. Talk about a little bit how that process came, because pretty much every other year you've been racing out in BC in the wintertime.
Yeah, I think I've gone to BC for about last 5 or 6 years for the winters, and from there to Ontario a couple of years, and yeah, just got a lot of Alberta breds now, and it looks more promising here than BC for full-time racing, and we're expecting a baby there, me and my wife, so need a home base, and here looks like a good spot.
Yeah, that'll be a definite change. Oh, have you already got your bed set up in the basement for a little bit more sleep on the days that you're racing?
Oh, I don't know. We're trying to buy a basement right now, so.
Well, I'm sure there could be one to rent somewhere along the line. So for the rest of the day, Paul, you got a couple more drives. Tell the handicappers here which one they think would be the best one that you're driving for the rest of the day.
Oh, I'm going to have to say Aces and Deuces. He won last week, and I think he likes this track. I think he's got a good shot.
Good horse for Sam. Seems like when he's in the right class, he's always competitive. Want to thank you very much for your time, Paul. Best of luck the rest of the day.
All right, thanks, Don.
Back up to you, Dennis.
Thanks, guys. We're about 2 minutes away till post time. On behalf of everyone here at Track On 2, we'd like to welcome our guests up in the luxury booths today. Myers Norris Penny, MNP, out of Red Deer. like to welcome you to the Track on 2. Hopefully you have a great day at the races. Just a minute left to make those wagers. Pick 4 available on this race as well. 1 minute till post. Your favorite at this time is the 2-horse Mountain Mystery. 8-5 for that one. Second choice is number 4, West Central Beach. And that one's off at 8-5. And horse number 5 is 2-1. Starters called the horses for the third race. As the horses are lining up, betting public has made the number 4 West Central Beach favorite at 7-5. Inside out, number 1 Cheers for Prez, number 2 Mountain Mystery, number 3 is Cut a Rug, 4-horse is West Central Beach, and number 5 is Horse. Starting gates at the top of the lane. Picking up speed. It's post time for the third. There they go. And they're off and pacing, leaving on the inside. Cheers for Prez. Through the middle, Cut a Rug. And on the outside, Horse. Sliding up on the inside now is Mountain Mystery. It is Cheers for Prez with the lead. Settling in second is Cut a Rug. Moving up is Mountain Mystery into third. Then you have West Central Beach, and backing off to look at them all is Horse. Heading up towards the quarter-mile marker, your leader is Cheers for Prez. On top by a length and a half. Then you have Cut a Rug. Drop back 2 more to Mountain Mystery. Then you have West Central Beach and Horse. It is Cheers for Prez past the quarter-mile mark in 30 3/5. Cheers for Prez on top. Then you have Cut a Rug, followed by Mountain Mystery, West Central Beach, and Horse looks at them all. Down the backstretch, Cheers for Prez. Nobody's moving. Cheers for Prez on top. Cut a Rug pacing in second. Closing up a little bit is Mountain Mystery, tipping out on the outside. West Central Beach. He'll be followed by Horse. Heading past the half-mile marker, 103 3. Cheers for Prez has company on the outside. West Central Beach getting to him. It's West Central Beach with the lead. Cheers for Prez is second. Horse is moving up third on the outside. Then you have Cut a Rug. It is West Central Beach with the lead. Horse is tipping out on the far outside, 3 wide. It is West Central Beach. Takes us past the 3/4, 135 2. West Central Beach. Horse on the outside. Cut a Rug in the middle. It is West Central Beach. Horse on the far outside. Horse has the lead. Cut a Rug is challenging second. It's Horse on the outside. Cut a Rug is second. West Central Beach up for third. Time for the mile, 2:01 4/5. Unofficially, your winner is number 5, Horse. Finishing second, number 3, Cut a Rug. Up for third, number 4, West Central Beach. And finishing fourth, number 2, Mountain Mystery. Once again, time for the mile 2:01 and 4/5. Hold all tickets till it's posted official. Back to the winner's enclosure. Our official winner of the third race, number 5, Horse, is owned by Trevor Williams, trained and driven to victory today by Ryan Grundy. Horse is a 2-year-old bay colt by Vertical Horizon out of Lady Annie by All-American Native. Horse paced the mile in a time of 2:01 and 4/5. Prices for this race, number 5, Horse, $660, $610, $290. Finishing second, number 3, Cut a Rug, $410, $290. Number 4, West Central Beach, $210 to show. Finishing fourth, number 2, Mountain Mystery, $2 exacta combination, $29.70. Replays up next of the third race. Up next, our fourth race on the program. This will be a maiden event. They'll race for a purse of $3,800. This is the Crump Family Pace. Win, place, and show exacta, superfecta, and trifecta wagering. Looking at the horses in this race, I went with the 5-horse Ebenezer. Second choice was 7, Windrider, and third selection was number 3, True Crime. Don, just before I send it down to you, we had 3 races here so far at Track on 2. Numbers players playing the 5 and 3 today. They've made out very well. Any chance for that happening here, or where are you going with your selection?
Tell you what, Dennis, this is not the easiest race on the card. The Maidens race, where you have some that have raced once, some that have raced 17 times, and not a winner on the card. So if you're a numbers player, there's nothing wrong with staying that. Number 1 horse, Wink and Win. 2-year-old Winkin' At You, gelding, Kevin Sampson, training and driving. Horse that's raced 6 times and got 2/3. Also thought enough of this horse to put this in the Alberta Lone Star Stakes race for 2-year-olds up at Century Mile last time. Finishing up its mile with good last quarters every week. So I think this horse has a shot. Number 2 horse, Fanatical Flight, a 4-year-old test flight mare. Kelly Ducharme training and Nate Sobey driving. 4 starts and hasn't hit the board so far. Needs to finish up its mile a little bit better to start getting some checks. Last time left and cut the mile for the first half. Stopped a little bit coming home, but maybe a little bit of a wake up to the horse, so maybe we'll see an improved effort. Number 3 horse, True Crime, a 4-year-old mystery chase mare. Kelly Ducharme also training and driving this one. Sure looks like it wants to break out of the maiden class. So far this year, out of 12 starts, 5 times in the top 3, just none in the winner's position yet. Last week was leading at the head of the lane, this same class, and only got beat half of a length by Mountain Mystery, who was a first-time starter. So in this class, the number 3 horse definitely doesn't look bad. Might be part of that 3-5 you were talking about, Dennis. The number 4 horse, Zippity Zoom, a 2-year-old Sunshine Beach gelding. Tara Isman is training and Jamie Gray is driving. Not too much to go on this horse. Was racing in Manitoba at the fair meet at the track in Miami, Manitoba. Not to be confused with Miami, Florida. The horse has gone along and had a second in the qualifier. First race raced evenly along. Definite unknown in this class, but nicely bred. 5 horse, Ebenezer, a 3-year-old Rescue Me gelding that Sam Johnson trains and Paul Davies is driving. This horse has had 4 lifetime starts, a second and a third, made a little bit of money. It's been in the maidens class in every race. Comes this last quarter's okay. Paul's an aggressive driver, so he'll definitely try to give this horse as good a trip as he can. The number 6 horse, Point to the Dragon. 3-year-old Custard the Dragon filly that Quentin Schneider is training and Mike Hennessy is driving. This horse to me shows signs of improvement. Only 2 starts and a third in its first start. Second race also wasn't bad. It was a little bit farther back at the half, but it closed to only be beaten 2.5 lengths. So I rate the 6 horse up there fairly highly. And the 7 horse Windrider, a 3-year-old sports rider gelding that Dave Kelly trains and drives and owns in conjunction with Mike Dix. I was on this horse until I saw the way the horse in the last race finished up. Dave's a good trainer driver, has taken his time getting this horse to the track. By breeding and by competitiveness, this horse stands out, but 7 starts and hasn't had a check so far. So you got to be a little bit careful when you get some of these horses that really look good on the program but haven't shown results so far. When I handicapped this race beforehand, I was on the 6 and the 7, put the 7 on top. I would stick towards the 3 outside ones, but I'm going to stick with the 7 horse, like the 6 and the 5 also. Back up to you, Dennis.
Interesting thoughts for sure. I think we had a conversation earlier about some of these young horses, and one day they're training very well. They look like they're learning their manners, and then the next day they have a rough outing. And I wonder if maybe Windrider is starting to learn those manners. Looking back in the history, definitely had a few breaks in there, and last time out looked like Dave in his qualifying race had this one settled down. Runs that kind of race, Windrider will be tough to beat here today.
Yeah, and a lot of times, Dennis, I think what you see first start when they've had some breaks and they've made some breaks. The driver is usually fairly careful with them, doesn't try to be too aggressive. If you make a break off a qualifier, you got to go back to a qualifier again the following week. So I think Dave will give this horse a carefully aggressive steer, but he'll definitely try to get the horse around the track so he doesn't have to go back the next time. Horses are circling the paddock, so back up to you, Dennis, for the post braid.
Thank you. We're about 7 minutes till post time. Those horses are making the way onto the track for the 4th. Maidens for the 4th race are on the track. Number 1 is Wink and Win, owned by Nancy Tamlin, trained and driven today by Kevin Sampson. Number 2 is Fanatical Flight. Hugh Jackson owns. Kelly Ducharme will train. Nathan Sobey is in the bike. Number 3 is True Crime. Kelly Ducharme owns, trains, and drives this one. Number 4 is Zippity Zoom. Tara Isman owns and trains. Jamie Gray will drive. Ebenezer is the 5-horse. Samuel Johnson is the owner and trainer. Paul Davies will drive. Point to the Dragon is the 6. Blair Thomas is the owner. Quentin Schneider trains. Michael Hennessy will drive. Rounding out our field, number 7, Windrider. David Kelly and Mike Dix are the owners. David Kelly trains and will drive. That's our field for the 6th race. Don, we'll send it back down to you.
Thanks, Dennis. Sorry, I don't have an interview for this race. So let's talk a little bit about the maidens class and also the fact that this is the Crump family pace. So the Crump family has been involved in standardbred racing for quite a while. I think they're kind of mainstays being stabled up here at Track on 2, looking to move up to the Edmonton track at Leduc, but have had their horses down here for a long period of time. Steve's trained for a long period of time, and over the last little while, Kelly's been helping him out as he had knee replacement surgery. So Kelly's been taking over a lot of the work recently. I'm sure their family will be involved in the presentation after the race. Kelly's actually taken a step up and helped me a lot with the media portion, working on the board of directors at ASHA, and we're hoping to keep him on the board for a little while longer. But the family's been involved in racing, so it's nice to see them sponsoring a race here at Track on 2. And hopefully maybe afterwards I'll be able to grab Kelly or one of the family members and do a quick interview with them. Other than that, for right now, I'll throw it back up to you.
Why don't we talk a little bit more about a couple of the horses in the race? You had mentioned that the one Wink and Win had raced in the Lone Star at Century Mile. Didn't perform too bad, 4th by 5 lengths. Just before that, raced in a maiden event here at the Track on 2 on August 28th and ended up closing well down the lane, 27-3 final quarter. How did you see this one as you were working through your selections?
Yeah, absolutely. This is the horse Fred picked actually in our selections originally. And if you look at two horses who beat Wink and Win in its race up at Century Mile, Love My Rocking Bird has been a really good 2-year-old so far. Won 2 stakes races, beating Paul's Outlaw State of Mind for the first time. This horse has probably made close to $30,000 already. And Just Mac is a horse that from the Rod Torres barn, who's really looked good, just hasn't quite put it together the whole time. But this horse has been one who every week was definitely in the selections. And if you look at the third horse, there's Outlaw State of Mind. So this horse was in a really competitive 2-year-old race. I guess the only thing you have to look at is 2-year-old racing against 3- and 4-year-olds, which makes it a little bit more difficult. But this horse for sure fits, has the rails, so it's definitely part of the race for sure.
And one that the betting public has traditionally fallen upon is 3-horse True Crime. Every now and then this one looks like she's starting to improve. But last couple times out just was able to manage a third and a second respectively. Where do you see this one finishing?
Well, again, it's just one of those kind of stories. You see a horse that's raced 29 times, and one of these days this horse is going to pop up and it's going to hang on. But when they start, it's kind of like human habits. When they start learning to lose, they have a tendency to lose. But this horse is racing along strong almost every week. It's a horse that you really can't leave off your ticket. But once they get to that many starts and haven't got a win, it's really tough to put those horses on top and put a whole lot of faith in the win side of it. But those kind of horses can definitely get better as they get a little bit older. This horse is 4 Mystery Chase. It's thrown a lot of good ones. So I think the horse has to be on people's tickets. I just can't put the horse on top.
No, fair enough. I've ended up with the 5 Ebenezer as my first selection. What I liked about this one, Ebenezer's in and out of the money on the starts. So every second race seems to do a little bit better. And today looks like maybe well-placed enough to be in the top 3. We're about a minute away till post time, Don, so hopefully the betting public has an idea where we're all going on this one. About 1 minute till post. Make those final selections as you can. Starters called the horses for the 4th. Your current favorite is the 5-horse Ebenezer. Second choice will come back to the rail, and number 1, Wink and Win. Lining up in behind the gate, the horses Wink and Win, number 1. Number 2 is Fanatical Flight. Then you have True Crime, the 3-horse. Zippity Zoom is the 4. Ebenezer's the 5. Point to the Dragon, 6. And starting on the outside, number 7, Wind Rider. Starting gates at the top of the stretch. It's post time for the 4th. There they go. And they're off and pacing. Point to the Dragon is the first to show on the outside. Down along the inside, Fanatical Flight moves up and takes the lead and the rail. Fanatical Flight, Point to the Dragon. Fanatical Flight, Point to the Dragon moves on, takes the lead. Point to the Dragon on top. Fanatical Flight is in second. Then you have Wink and Win in third. True Crime settles in fourth, followed by Zippity Zoom. Then you're well back to the rest of the field. Ebenezer, and the rest are well back. Point to the Dragon on top to the quarter, 28 4/5. Fanatical Flight is pacing in second. Wink and Win is third. True Crime moves up on the outside fourth. This one will be followed by Ebenezer on the outside. Then you have Zippity Zoom. And your trailer is Windrider. Past the half-mile marker, 101 flat. Your leader still Point to the Dragon. On the outside is True Crime. It is Point to the Dragon now being caught by True Crime on the outside. True Crime by 3/4 of a length. Then you have Point to the Dragon. Ebenezer's moving up on the outside third. Then you have Fanatical Flight in fourth. Your leader coming down the lane is True Crime on top. Down along the inside, Point to the Dragon. It is your leader, True Crime. True Crime with the lead. On the outside, it is Ebenezer. True Crime, Ebenezer taking us down to the wire. True Crime, Ebenezer on the outside. It's close. Looks like Ebenezer. Judges will require a photo there. Photo for first. Finishing in third was Point to the Dragon. Time for the mile, 2 minutes and 3/5. Judges have posted the 5-horse Ebenezer as your winner. Finishing second, number 3, True Crime. Up for third, number 6, Point to the Dragon. Finishing fourth, number 1, Wink and Win. Once again, time for that mile, 2 minutes and 3/5. Results are unofficial. Back to the winner's enclosure. Unofficial winner of the 4th race, number 5, Ebenezer. Owned and trained by Samuel Johnson. Driven to victory today by Paul Davies. Ebenezer is a 3-year-old black gelding by Rescue Me out of reservations only by Freedom's Pass. Once again, pacing the mile in 2 minutes and 3/5. Results for the 4th race are now official. Prices, your winner, number 5, Ebenezer, 610, 340, 210. True Crime, the 3-horse, was second, 480, 220. Finishing third, number 6, Point to the Dragon, 210 to show. And up for fourth, number 1, Wink and Win, $2 exacta combination, 5 and 3, $123.30. Your dollar triactor, 5, 3, and 6. Paid paid $260.30. Your 20-cent superfecta, 5, 3, 6, and 1. Pays $31.02. Once again, time for the mile, 2 minutes, 3/5. Replay of the 4th will be up next. Fifth race will be up next. It's a non-winner, so $41,000. They'll race for a purse of $3,400. We have win, place, and show, exacta, trifecta, and superfecta wagering. And on this one, Don, I've got the 7-horse Whiskey Throttle as my first selection. I think this race sets up real nice for Whiskey Throttle to repeat. Second choice is Marv the Rat. And just a note on Marv the Rat, we had previously announced that Brian Gray would be the driver. We actually are going to have Ryan Grundy driving Marv the Rat. My third selection is Aces and Deuces. There's no other reason other than the fact that this horse is extremely competitive here at the track on 2, has showed very well. Might be a little bit different class today, but based on the liking of the track and the performance, Paul Davies in the bike, I think you need to keep this one on the ticket as well. Those are my selections for the 5th race. Why don't we head it down to you, Don, for a rundown of the 5th.
Yeah, Dennis, it's Bob here. We're just giving Don a chance to go on and warm up a little. So we'll start at the top. We have Here Comes the Thunder. You know, he'd been racing pretty good. You take out his last race. You look back after that, he had a win the race before. The race before that, he was a close second. He'd been racing in 56. Every once in a while, things happen. But before that last race, he'd been fairly consistent. Aces and Deuces, as you say, has been a very consistent horse. He is in a little bit better class today, but he likes it here. He's been running good every week. He's built up his heart, and I expect to see him try again hard today. PT's Magic Mark last week was a good second to Whiskey Throttle and a 57. And here's another horse. He's been on the fringes. He's had a third, some fourths. I don't know if I'd put him on top, but I don't think you could throw him right out in your exotics. The 4 horse we have is Snoopy Lion. Stephen Crump. His horse has been racing pretty good here. He had a win the start in the qualifier. Looked pretty good coming back. His last start wasn't the best, but he has dropped down in company here. It's a little easier field than what he was racing against. So that definitely gives him hope. And he had raced third in the classified a couple of starts back. So he does have some ability. And then we have Bo's Cowboy. Again, here's another consistent horse. We're looking seconds, thirds, a win. Has some gate speed. He could make the lead and not look back. He's not a horse, again, you can throw out. Marv the Rat, the other Crump horse. Here's another horse, very consistent. He shows some closing on him. So it could be a pretty big rush at the end for him. And then we have Whiskey Throttle on the outside. Raced a huge race last week, come from out of it to win. If they're on the front and they falter a little bit, he's got to be the horse to beat. My choice for this race would have to be Whiskey Throttle. And I know Don probably wouldn't be happy with me picking a horse that's a favorite. He likes to pick the long shots, so filling in for him. I think I would also have to take a little bit of a long shot in here. And I kind of think the 5 horse could be tough in here. So my choice would be Whiskey Throttle and Bo's Cowboy.
Thanks, Bob.
So with
talking to Don a little bit earlier, he did have the 7 Whiskey Throttle as his selection. And when he was speaking with Fred Gillis earlier today, Fred was actually leaning towards the 6 Marv the Rat. So those are those 2 selections. And if I heard you right there, Bob, you're going with the 7, and so am I. So we've got 3 choices for Whiskey Throttle as our top selection. This is a very close race. We're about 9 minutes till post time. 6 minutes till post time. The horses are now starting to make the way onto the track for the 5th race. Horses on parade for the 5th race. Number 1 is Here Comes the Thunder, owned by QKS Racing. Quentin Schneider trains. Michael Hennessy will drive. The 2 is Aces and Deuces. Samuel Johnson owns and trains. Paul Davies will drive. The 3 is PTS Magic Mark, owned by Sharon Christensen, Evelyn Milne. Lloyd Ducharme trains. Kelly Ducharme will drive. And the 4 horse is Snoop the Lion. Stephen Crump will own and train. Jamie Gray will drive. Number 5 is Bo's Cowboy. Tammy Marshall and William Collins are the owners. William Collins will train. Nathan Sobey will drive. Number 6 is Marv the Rat. Corey Manning is the owner. Stephen Crump trains. And your driver today is Ryan Grundy. Rounding out the field, number 7, Whiskey Throttle. Dave Kelly and Richard McPhee are the owners. David Kelly is the trainer and driver. That is our field for the 5th race. We're about 4 minutes till post time. Just send this back downstairs if you guys are there.
We are here. I have with me 2 ends of the training spectrum. I have Dave Lamont and Amy Henry. Dave, how long have you been training for now?
40 years.
And Amy, how long have you had your trainer's license now?
About 6 months.
So we're definitely at both ends of the spectrum. Dave, what do you think in the years you've been around, the difference in horse racing from when you started to now is? And do you think that things are going up or staying the same?
Well, I think they're going up, and the horses go faster. It's all relevant, though.
Okay, I know you had a pretty good race earlier, 1st and 2nd. It was pretty exciting, and I know that you've been, since the day we first started racing down here in Lacombe. What do you think of the changes that's been made?
In Lacombe here, it's good now. I got no complaints about this place at all. Kind of like racing here.
Well, that's good. I'm sure they like having you here. Your horse always ran good. So, Amy, you kind of got thrust into the training here. I know with some stuff that happened. How are you enjoying being a trainer so far?
I'm really starting to enjoy it now. I got a good little group of horses, not too many, and I'm learning a lot, and it's a lot of fun.
I know you have Black Cheddar in your barn, and you had Jody Jameson, who bred and raised them, and came out and drive them. What was it like working with one of the better drivers in North America?
That's not my first experience with Jody Jameson, and we had a lot of fun. He's always fun to be around, and you don't really have to tell him too much. He knows his job well. He can read a program, so it's nice to have a driver of that status behind your horse. It's cool.
Okay, so Dave, I know you and your wife work together. It's a family thing with you guys. Is there ever a little tension in the barn, between the husband and wife thing?
No, we're on the same page. No problem at all.
And she told you to say that, I'm sure. No, good. So what I'm going to do, we're going to see who's the better handicapper in here. Amy, who do you like in this race?
If I was to pick the winner here, I'd want to pick Bo's Cowboy, number 5. I just feel like he's due for a win. He's been racing pretty consistently, and it's his time today.
Okay, and Dave, who do you like in here?
Whiskey Throttle looks like a layover in here off of that race last week.
So all us older guys, we all like Whiskey Throttle, and of course we have the young lady that goes in a different direction. So I guess we'll know soon if the up-and-comers are better handicappers than us old guys. I'd like to thank you guys for being over here today, and good luck in the rest of your racing. And thanks very much for coming over.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Bob. Interesting interview. Thank you. We're about 1 minute till post time. Just a minute left. Make those wagers carefully. Less than a minute now till post time. Your current favorite is the 7, Whiskey Throttle, 4-5. Second choice is the 2, Aces and Deuces, at 2-1. Starters called the horses for the 5th. Lining up for the 5th race. Number 1 is Here Comes the Thunder. Number 2, Aces and Deuces. Number 3 is PTS Magic Mark. Number 4 is Snoop the Lion. Number 5 is Bo's Cowboy. 6 is Marv the Rat. Once again, your current favorite, the 7-horse Whiskey Throttle. Starting 8's on the top of the lane. Picking up speed. It's now post time for the 5th. There they go. They're off and pacing. Bo's Cowboy looks for the lead right off the gate. Bo's Cowboy. He'll be followed by PTS Magic Mark, and down along the inside, Aces and Deuces. Bo's Cowboy. Aces and Deuces slides up along the rail. Then you have PTS Magic Mark stuck on the outside third. Here Comes the Thunder is settling in 4th along the rail. Then you have Snoop the Lion, followed by Marv the Rat, and Whiskey Throttle is well back. Opening quarter, 27 4/5. Bo's Cowboy with the lead. Aces and Deuces in second. PTS Magic Mark still on the outside third. Then you have Here Comes the Thunder. Up close, a couple lengths back is Snoop the Lion. Drop back about 3 more to Marv the Rat. And about 4 more back to Whiskey Throttle. Heading their way to the half-mile marker, your leader, Bo's Cowboy on top. It is PTS Magic Mark on the outside in second. Aces and Deuces still along the rail in third. Here Comes the Thunder is 4th. Snoop the Lion up tight in 5th. Marv the Rat has caught the field and on the outside 6th. And he'll be followed by Whiskey Throttle. Leader still, Bo's Cowboy. Past the half-mile marker in 57 2. Aces and Deuces is now second. Marv the Rat is third on the far outside. It's Bo's Cowboy who's going to take us down the lane. 3/4 miles, 1:29. It is Bo's Cowboy. Aces and Deuces. Along the inside, Here Comes the Thunder. It is Bo's Cowboy still on top. Aces and Deuces on the outside. Bo's Cowboy. Aces and Deuces. Here Comes the Thunder. Bo's Cowboy is the winner. Photo for second. Looks like it was Aces and Deuces. And Here Comes the Thunder. Wait for a photo for place position. Time for the mile. 1:57 1/5. Once again, unofficial winner, number 5, Bo's Cowboy. Photo for the rest of the positions. Hold all tickets. Once again, your unofficial winner, number 5, Bo's Cowboy. In the photo, up for second, number 2, Aces and Deuces. Finishing third, number 1, Here Comes the Thunder. Snoop DeLion was 4th. Time for the mile, 1:57 1/5. And back to the winner's enclosure. Our official winner of the 5th race, number 5, Bo's Cowboy. Owned by Tammy Merschel and William Collins. William Collins is the trainer, and Nathan Sobey is our winning driver. Bo's Cowboy is a 6-year-old bay gelding by Brandon's Cowboy out of Believe in Me by Water Tower. Bo's Cowboy once again pacing the mile in a time of 1:57 1. That's a new mark for this year. Bo's Cowboy, the price is $29.10 to win, $5.10 to place, $3 to show. Aces and Deuces, the 2-horse, $3.10 $2.60. Number 1, Here Comes the Thunder, $3.10 to show. Snoop DeLion was up for 4th. Your $2 exacta combination, 5 and 2, $46.80. Dollar triactor, 5, 2 and all, $22.55. 20-cent super, 5, 2, 1 and all, $111.51. Up next, our replay of the 5th race. Sixth and final is up next. This will be horses not averaging $210 per start in the last 3. Also eligible are horses non-winners of 3 races lifetime. We'll race for a purse of $2,500. Several changes in this race. First of all, with the one-horse Sideline Secrets, originally there was a change noted here, but it will be Nathan Sobey in the bike. Nathan Sobey will drive the one Sideline Secrets. Number 5, Jello's Fellow, has been scratched. This is a veterinarian scratch. Number 6 is Secrets Mystery. Jamie Gray will drive Secrets Mystery. Number 8, Dream Chase, will be driven by Paul Davies. Those are the changes for the 6th. I'll have a quick look at my selections. Tough to pick a winner in this one, but I landed with the 4-horse Big Engine, probably the most consistent in the field. Not that there's been a ton of consistency, but Big Engine looks like the top selection for myself. And then second choice here, I went with number 3, Casino Events. Number 7, Explain Not Complain. Last 4 races not so good. Had a very good start here at the meet at Track On 2. So I look for this one to rebound and be up in the top 3 here. So 4, 3, and 7 are my selections for the 6th. We'll head this back downstairs.
Yeah, Dennis, this is a really interesting race to try to handicap. As the class says, it's horses that haven't had a whole lot of success lately, but some of these horses have actually had pretty decent careers. So there's a real mix and interesting combination of horses. Number 1 horse, Sideline Secrets, is a 5-year-old Mystery Chase mare. Al Gertson trains and Nathan Sobey is driving. It's a horse that's definitely thrown good starts and bad starts. Last few races before this was racing in non-winners of 5, which is a completely different class than which this one is. So when I landed on a horse, that's kind of the one that I went to at first. The number 2 horse, Gonna Funk You Up, a 4-year-old gelding out of Yankee Cruiser. Kelly Ducharme training and driving. It's a horse that Harold Haining had for a long period of time, and Rod Starkowski also had in the past. A horse that's made a living out of getting pieces of races, but not a high percentage winner. So it's one of those horses that I might throw into the back end of my exotics and try to keep it as a piece, but not a horse I'd probably put up on top. Number 3 horse, Casino Events, a 7-year-old mare out of Classic Card Shark. Bob Parrish trains and Doug Chappell is driving. Again, a horse that has shown pieces of a lot of races, but not one that's won a whole lot of races. Won for its last 36, but also if you look down on its cards, you see lots of seconds and thirds. So another horse that can maybe take a step up in a little bit cheaper class than the last couple times. Your horse, Big Engine, a 4-year-old Test Flight. Steve Crump trains and Dave Kelly is driving. A horse that was racing in straight non-winners of 2, non-winners of 3, and it will definitely like the class change here. So I think for favorite bettors, this is definitely one, if they're a favorite bettor, you might want to get on. Number 5 horse is scratched. 6 horse is Secrets Mystery, a Mystery Chase gelding that Al Gertson trains and Jamie Gray is now driving. Another horse that was been racing quite a bit better competition, but has struggled for winning some races. Won for its last 58 on his card, made $5,000 this year, but not as much in the recent races. So hopefully a wake-up candidate here also. 7 horse, Explain Not Complain, a 4-year-old Mr. Saratoga gelding. Quentin Schneider trains and Mike Hennessy is driving. As a lot of people, I've been on this horse a couple times, and he really hasn't been as strong the last little bit. After the claim, when Quentin took this horse from Dave, this horse was actually going along pretty good, but the last couple starts have not been as good. Again, in against cheaper classes, so this horse could definitely be one to wake up. And the 8 horse Dream Chase, a 5-year-old Mystery Chase gelding. Bob Parrish also trains, and Paul Davies is driving. So Bob's had a couple horses who've won a couple races in recent times. So with Paul driving, definitely will give this horse an aggressive trip. Most of the time from the back, but the horse should be coming, and hopefully we'll get a big piece of it too. A race where you could get on almost anybody. Again, I landed on the one horse, Sideline Secrets. It's a mare racing against the boys, but I think this horse is going to have a good trip inside the race, and hopefully Nate will get this job done so he doesn't make me look like I don't know how to handicap anymore. So I'll send it back up to you. The horses are coming out, and afterwards we'll have Tara Isman from Manitoba and talk a little bit about Manitoba racing.
Okay, thanks, Don. 8 minutes till post time. Final race on the program today. Don't forget, when our live racing has completed, you can check out the off-track betting in the Funky Monkey. Here at the Track On 2, we're open daily at 11 o'clock. VLTs and off-track betting daily. Horses are on the track for the 6th race. Horses are on parade for the 6th race. Number 1 is Sideline Secrets, owned and trained by Alan Gortson, driven today by Nathan Sobey. Number 2 is Gonna Funk You Up. Kelly Ducharme owns, trains, and drives the 2-horse. Have the 3 casino events join the post parade momentarily. The 4 is Big Engine, owned and trained by Stephen Crump and driven today by David Kelly. We'll go back to the 3 casino events owned and trained by Robert Parrish, driven today by Doug Chappell. Six horse is Secrets Mystery. Alan Gortson is the owner and trainer, and driven today by Jamie Gray. 7 horse is Explain Not Complain, QKS Racing. Quentin Schneider is the trainer. Michael Hennessy will drive. And Dream Chase is the 8, owned by Robert Parrish and William Roberts. Robert Parrish trains, and Paul Davies will drive. 5 minutes till post time. Don, we'll send it back down to you.
Thanks very much, Dennis. I've got Tara Isman, newly graduated. Well, not really graduated. She's been a groom for a long period of time, but entered into the training ranks. Tara, this is your first trip for racing out to Alberta, or have you come out here before with your family?
We've come out here to watch some races, but this is the first time we brought horses out here. My dad actually used to train in Edmonton a few years ago, a while ago, so he's been out here before.
I remember the name in the program for sure. So what was the thoughts when you decided to come out here? How did your Manitoba meet go? And you had some horses that were moving along, so you thought you'd come out to Alberta?
Yeah, well, we have a few Alberta bred horses that we had, so we tried them a few times on the Manitoba circuit, and they showed enough there that we thought we'd come out here and give them a try on a bigger track.
Awesome. So obviously coming from the tracks that you were racing on in Manitoba, and you're stabled up at Century Mile, talk a little bit about that facility up there and how your horses are adapting to it. Obviously a little bit longer stretch than maybe they're used to, so might take them a little bit of time to get used to.
Yeah, it's a little hard to gauge until you give them a few starts on a bigger track. But the facility up at Century Mile is really nice. It's nice new barns and the nice paddock. It looks nice up there.
It's got a little bit of growing in to do, but as it sure looks like it's going to be a beautiful facility. You obviously get, and what kind of work do you do with them and stuff? You're in the jog cart every day and grooming, feeding, or what parts are you mostly involved in, Tara?
A little bit of everything. Some harnessing, stalls, jogging. My dad's a trainer up here with me too, so we kind of share the responsibilities.
You got a little bit of help with you then. You don't have to do a whole...
Yeah, not all 5 by myself, so yeah.
It's kind of nice. One of the things that's really good when people are first starting to get into the industry, get a chance to sit in a jog cart and go around some of those tracks. It's an amazing feeling that most people, a lot of the sitting on the sidelines, wish they could actually experience because it's kind of fun.
Yeah, I encourage anybody if they're interested. It's a really fun sport and it's a great experience.
Okay, so when you're going back and forth between provinces and different surfaces and stuff, when you're rigging up the horses, what do you take into consideration when you're trying to make those kind of changes?
Just basically the track conditions. We haven't raced anything at Century Mile here, but we're just kind of adjusting them, just seeing how they go the first few starts, see if we need to make any adjustments on them.
You raced 2 horses here. One had some success, the other one not quite as much, but some changes. So do you plan on racing a couple more here at Track On 2 in the next couple weeks?
Yeah, well, we'll see how it goes. Our first horse here did really well, so we'll just keep going with him, I think.
Always good to get some success. Perfect, Tara. Thank you very much. Appreciate you coming over and spending a couple minutes with us, especially with some other Manitoba guys in the background cheering her on. So it's good to have a good Manitoba section. Thanks again, Tara. Back up to you, Dennis.
Thanks, Don. We're 2 minutes till post time. Pleasure working with you again this afternoon. Go in and get some warmth to you. We'll see you again next week. Don't forget our post time, 3:10 for next Saturday. Less than a minute now till post time. Current favorite is the 1-horse Sideline Secrets at 5-2. Have the 4 and the 7. Big Engine and Explain Not Complain are both at 3-1. And 4th selection is the 2, Gonna Funk You Up. Starters called the horses for the 6th and final. They're lining up now. The 1 is Sideline Secrets. Number 2, Gonna Funk You Up. Number 3 is Casino Events. Big Engine is the 4. Once again, the 5, Jello's Fellow, is scratched. 6 is Secrets Mystery. Number 7 is Explain Not Complain. And the 8 is Dream Chase. Starting gates at the top of the lane, picking up speed. It's post time for the 6th and final. There they go. And they're off and pacing. Leaving on the inside, Casino Events, Big Engine, Dream Chase tried to go from the outside. Moving up along the rail is Sideline Secrets. It is Casino Events on top. Big Engine settles in second. Dropping in along the rail is Dream Chase, followed by Sideline Secrets. Heading up to the quarter-mile marker. Casino Events has 2 lengths on the field. Past the quarter in 28-2. Settling in second is Big Engine, followed by Dream Chase. Sideline Secrets on the outside. Explain Not Complain. Then you have Gonna Funk You Up, and on the outside your trailer is Secrets Mystery. Tight field as we now head up towards the half-mile marker. Still on top, Casino Events. Then you have on the inside Big Engine, on the outside Dream Chase. Then behind them, racing as a team, Sideline Secrets on the inside. Explain Not Complain is on the outside, being followed by Secrets Mystery, and your trailer Gonna Funk You Up. Past the half-mile mark in 59 1/5. Dream Chase is on the outside, challenging for the lead. Dream Chase on top. Then you have Casino Events. Buried along the rail is Big Engine. Coming up to the 3/4 in 1:30 2/5. Racing through the lane on the far outside. We have quite a challenge coming. Horses making their way down the lane. It is Explain Not Complain through the outside. On the far outside, it's Gonna Funk You Up. In the middle, Dream Chase. We'll have a photo to determine all positions. Time for the mile, 1:59 2/5. Judges have posted the 7. Explain Not Complain as the winner. Place, position, photo for the 6th. In the photo, up for second, number 8, Dream Chase. Finishing third, number 2, Gonna Funk You Up. And finishing fourth, number 4, Big Engine. Results are unofficial. Numbers 7, 8, 2, and 4. Time for the mile, 1:59 2/5. Making their way back towards the winner's enclosure, our official winner of the 6th race, number 7, Explain Not Complain, owned by the QKS Racing Stable. Quentin Schneider is the trainer, and second win on the card today. Michael Hennessy is the driver. Explain Not Complain is a 4-year-old bay gelding by Mr. Saratoga out of Maggie Hall by Blissful Hall. Once again, pacing the mile in a time of 1:59 2/5. Explain Not Complain, the prices. Number 7, $850, $680, $310. Number 8, Dream Chase, $1120, $430. Number 2, Gonna Funk You Up, $260 to show. Finishing fourth, number 4, Big Engine. 7/8 Exacta, $64.40. Dollar Triactor, 7/8 2, $863.90. Superfecta 7/8 all and all, 20-cent ticket, $8.05. $206 carryover in today's pick 4. Correction on the post time for October, all October racing will be at 1:10 post time. 1:10 for next Saturday. We'll see you then. Don't forget, Funky Monkey Track on 2 open daily at 11 o'clock. Off-track betting and VLTs available. Thanks again for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your day.